Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Normal here, and in this video we're going to talk about Poco. So we all know Poco made a re-entry into the smartphone segment in 2020, and it was established as a new player, or rather a new brand branching out of Xiaomi. Now it's an independent brand operating in India and even globally. Now we have seen a lot of smartphones coming up in this year. We saw the Poco X2, then came Poco M2 Pro, Poco M2. We have the latest launched Poco X3 as well. Now Poco is coming up with a budget segment device, the Poco C3. So we have a lot of questions to ask to Poco regarding the Poco strategy, the rebranding thing, which we have got a lot of comments. Then about MIUI and Poco strategy going forward. Along with that, we'll also be asking about the Poco F2 status as well. So we have two people from Poco, the most important people for Poco, Anuj Sharma, the country head, and we also have general manager for Poco. We all know Manmohan. So both of us will be joining for this talk. We'll be asking a lot of questions, and also we'll be talking about the Poco C3, the newly launched device as well. So let's get started with interaction with Anuj Sharma and Manmohan. So Anuj and Manmohan, welcome to this interaction. So my first question to you is regarding the Poco strategy. Now Poco has been an independent brand in India and even globally. Now if you look at the Poco's offerings in India, say the Poco X2, the Poco M2 Pro, even the Poco M2, all of these have been phones which have been rebranded from Xiaomi. You also have done your own customizations or rather slight design changes here and there, but more or less they are been Xiaomi smartphones, so you have been rebranded. So are there any plans to go independent completely with a completely new R&D center and probably new designs completely instead of going for a rebranded strategy from Xiaomi?
So in a way, almost all phones in the world are similar to each other, right? If I look at it right now, if I look at it, a Redmi 9 series came in, and then you also have the Realme C series, and they all based on G35, and they all have a squarish camera now. Or if you look at the 15 to 20K, obviously apart from M2 Pro, all of them have a 720G with some modifications here and there, right? Or if you look at Samsung, you've got the M31 and the M21S, which are different names, but with one or two modifications here and there. So what I'm trying to get at is, right now we've basically come to a point where the number of players in the market are so few that you will see commonalities between all of them, which also means that when you go above or higher in the vertical chain, which is basically when you look at the sources, so when you're looking at chipsets, when you're looking at platforms, when you're looking at batteries, when you're looking at cameras, the number of options that you used to have 3 or 4 years ago to what we have now are very limited. Now this is where the second challenge pops in. If you are not a brand which is buying in tens of millions, you normally will not even be able to buy at times. You will not get any supply. So at that point, we are obviously dependent on the Xiaomi overall value chain and their procurement to be able to get our devices or get platforms basically. And obviously Xiaomi is like a huge company across the world. It helps us in the procurement part of it, and that's where you will see commonalities. Now the basic question that we ask from a Poco perspective is, are we boosting that platform or are we nerfing that platform? I don't know if you know these gaming terms. So when you have a good weapon, right? So for example, in PUBG, they made some changes where the UMP was severely nerfed. Nerfed means that the overall output that you were getting from the UMP went down quite significantly. And in the same time, like a M24 or a Kar 98K was massively boosted, which basically means that it became a better gun. So the same thing with phones. The basic question that we need to ask is, are we taking a particular platform and are we boosting it or are we nerfing it? as long as the answer is we are boosting the platform and giving our consumers a better value proposition than anything else out in the market, I am okay with that platform.
So I agree with your point, Anuj. Here, I think your point makes a lot of sense. But now the problem is what I get in the comment section is that it's not just about Poco being rebranding Xiaomi smartphones. Now the thing is, consumers are definitely benefited here, because even if Poco M2 Pro is a rebrand of say Redmi Note 9, it has better features being offered at a slightly lower price segment. So that is definitely benefiting the customers. But the point here is rather the point what Poco fans are making is that Poco is not getting any independent identity in terms of phones. It is always rebranding Xiaomi smartphone. Whether you plan to have an independent identity for Poco.
So two aspects to that one. The first aspect is, and going back to your previous question as well, are we doing our own R&D? Yes, but then it's a small team and we can't do everything. And of course, we are going for a wider strategy right now. And the second part is, again, if the consumers are okay and they're getting a better value, then you also need to kind of ask people who have a problem with reutilizing a particular platform and boosting it, are they actually buying or not? Right? They probably are not buying at all. So yes, we will work on certain products of our own, but it takes time. If you look at it, in the last 4 years, there haven't been any new brands that have popped up with their own set of R&D right from the go, right? Almost everything has been borrowed. They've taken platforms, tweaked and improved on what the base platform was. Almost all brands in the last 3-4 years. And I don't think Poco, as a small team, actually you are seeing almost in this meeting itself, you're seeing almost 30-40% of entire Poco India available. So it's a very small team and we wouldn't really want to overreach, and that's also very important. If, for example, we try to do 4 or 5 brand new products, we wouldn't be able to do that. We would not even be able to get the prices that we are getting from a procurement perspective, and those are realities of the business and the supply chain in today's world. Frankly, if I have a Poco F2 and if it has a 865 and a AMOLED display and probably 108 MP camera, it is still some variant of the Mi 10, right? So where does that leave me? So again, when we are looking at it, are we just looking at artificial design changes? Are we looking at just changing it for the sake of changing it so that we have a call out? Or are we actually giving a better value proposition and a boosted platform to our consumers?
So next question is regarding MIUI. Now we all know that MIUI for Poco is something which is different from Xiaomi's MIUI. In fact, MIUI for Poco does not offer any ads, so that's something which is really good. Now apart from this, do you plan to have anything MIUI features or something kind of different for Poco devices alone? I know you guys have the camera features which are really popular among Poco devices. Even I got comments asking whether these are coming to Redmi devices. So those are like unique features, but then do you plan to have any kind of unique features in the MIUI for Poco which are not available in Xiaomi smartphone? Something like some utility kind of features or some customization features which are specific to Poco devices.
Mancho, you want to take that?
Sure, why not? So till now, what we have done right now, to begin with, when Poco F1 was itself launched, we actually created a new feature called Poco Launcher, and that became the center of how MIUI for Poco has been designed. And till now, in fact, a lot of people outside the Poco ecosystem still download the Poco Launcher and kind of utilize it on a daily, right? Right, and that is something which we have kind of understood basis the customer feedback, right? So the first starting point for MIUI for Poco, what we did was take a platform which was already strong and kind of added on features which the customer kind of asked for. So the first was Poco Launcher. The second thing which we are constantly doing is kind of refreshing the design to make it much more user friendly, right? Just giving you an example, right? For example, with Poco F1, the -1 screen was primarily essentially the the MIUI gadget, right? The MIUI app tray. Now what we have done is now we have given the choice to the customer that they can either use a MIUI app tray or they can essentially kind of use Google Discover. So essentially we are giving the choice to the hands of the customer, and they can kind of mold it as per their requirements. So that is something which we are doing, right? Along with that, yes, you are right. We are also including a lot of camera AI filters, and that is something which is something very interesting. And we keep trying new things. Going forward as well, we will keep improving our software experience. That is without doubt. The reason is because at the end of the day, what we believe at Poco is not just about hardware; it is also about software. Only both of them, if they gel and work well, will we be able to provide everything that the customers need and nothing they don't. So from that angle, we think that our software and hardware are very, very critical. We don't think all the other brands are putting the due amount of importance on software. I think we are trying to correct that with Poco.
Okay, cool. Good to know that. Now, regarding the software, one more question probably I have is whether Poco is planning to go with the Android One platform or say the stock Android experience, because Xiaomi has tried the Android One on a few devices. So, what's your take on whether going with the Android One platform?
Anuj, you might want to take that.
Okay, so one, obviously anything that is genuinely useful for a consumer, we'd be happy to kind of look at. I don't know what's happening on the Android One program. We haven't seen as many launches this year from any of the brands compared to last year. So I'm not too sure what the future of Android One is. And second part, I'm not too sure if people are actually liking it or it's just something to say. That plain Android or stock Android is a cool buzzword, but frankly, I have been in four different brands, except for Poco. All the other three brands I've been a part of, we've tried doing a plain Android version, and most consumers unfortunately did not like it. It was a big thing on Twitter, but beyond Twitter, the consumer experience wasn't very great. Till we can fix those basic consumer experience gaps, I would probably not want to delve into the Android One side.
So now moving on from the software side, now Poco, if you look at the multiple segments, so now Poco is into multiple segments. Say now we have 15 to 20k, you guys have the Poco X2 and X3. Now 10 to 15 also you guys have the M2 Pro and M2. Now even budget also you guys are entering with the C3. Now, do you have any plans to say compete with the likes of OnePlus in say around the 30 to 40k segment? Now most of the brands are looking for kind of premium experience in the 30 to 40k segment. So do you have any plans to say compete with the likes of OnePlus in this segment?
Yeah, so I guess that's a disguised question, Nirmal. You are asking where is Poco F?
In fact, that was my fourth question. You're already into it.
Frankly, I don't know which price segments OnePlus is going to be playing in, or what segments Samsung would be. So I wouldn't really say that it's competing with a specific brand, but the focus on getting a flagship device in the form of especially a Poco F series, is very much on. This year obviously we've still not gotten to a point where we were really happy about any product donning the F series moniker. We do see a massive gap. We see a lot of brands passing off a 730G or a 765G as almost pseudo flagships. I don't think that would pass for a Poco. We have to obviously try harder. So we are working on it. Hopefully in the near future we are able to crack it.
Cool, cool. That's great to know. So at least fans can expect a Poco F2 coming very soon. So that's something really good. So now let's actually discuss about Poco's new launch, the Poco C3, the budget device. So you guys can just brief us about what customers can expect.
Sure. So C series, let me take the other way around, right? So I'll tell you the three things that I love about the C3. Then Mancho can tell you three things that he loves about the C3. And I think you can start kind of piecing this entire thing together, and then obviously we'll get to the other questions. So let me start, right? So with the Poco C3, my top three features would be obviously the cameras. So you're getting a triple camera setup. It's a 13 plus a 2 macro and a depth sensor. And why that is important in the sub 10K is the versatility of it, right? The sub 10K consumer gets a chance now to kind of try out different things and obviously get the camera quality. And on top of that, the camera is even improved further because of the AI capabilities. So you get, like we spoke about, this camera software being really good on Poco devices. So you get the AI part also. So for example, if you're taking a photograph of, say, in Kerala, you've just finished the rains, everything is looking super green, and then when you're taking a picture of that, it will further boost up the green, so look even better. The second aspect that I like, which is my number two part, and it has been more of a 2020 phenomena, is the reason most people are now getting their phones under 10K is e-learning and content consumption. So having a large enough display is super important. So this is a 6.53 inch. It's a HD plus display. So you don't really compromise on the display part of it also. So all the content is nice and visible. And the third one, which is, I'm being probably a little pragmatic here, under 10K, not too many people know Poco. Right? Poco has been essentially a enthusiast brand. It's been mid-range, upper mid-range, or flagship killer range with the F1. But all of these guys, when they're looking at getting a Poco C3 or any device in this price class for, say, a sibling or for their parents, this is where the Poco Clean experience makes a massive difference. Because they don't really have to worry about anything in terms of, is it annoying, is the UI intrusive? So you don't have to worry about all of those things. So, especially with the festive season coming in, it just becomes an easy buy and an easy recommendation for them also. So those are my three things. Mancho, you want to talk about your three?
Sure. So, Nirmal, in my sense, the three features which I think really think make a lot of difference for Poco C3. First is, of course, the camera. Like a triple camera under 10K, it's a massive difference, right? It has a primary, it has a macro, it has a depth sensor, and it's not like people, consumers who are purchasing products only about 10,000 look for good photos. People even below 10,000 really are very active on social, and they would like to kind of make really good, create great creative shots, right? So definitely the camera is my first preference. The second thing which I really think we have been able to crack a good or do a good job about is on the battery front. So on this battery, we are introducing this new feature called Better Battery 2.0. What we are doing with this is, people who are purchasing products at this price segment, right, they are really concerned about the durability and quality of the phone, right? If think about this, right? These are the folks who are using quite a significant amount of their savings to purchase a product. If the product lasts longer, they will be much more comfortable and safer, right? They will definitely be happy when they purchase the product. So what we did with this battery is that the life expectancy of a battery, which is usually the case in many other products, right? We have doubled it with this Better Battery 2.0. So you can be rest assured that your phone will last for a longer period of time without having to be worried about whether my battery will kind of conk off after some time, right? So that's the second most important thing, and this is to be honest, is primarily driven by customer insight, right? So that's number two. Number three, of course, is the large 6.53 inch HD plus display, especially given the current timeline in VRM. with all this lockdown scenarios, everyone being stuck at home, of course content consumption has always been a primary of primary importance during this entire smartphone era. But education, e-learning has taken up a much more important requirement, right? And from that point of view, having a large screen, given that that is the first device through which a person kind of accesses internet in India today, I think it's extremely important to have that larger screen. So these three are my features. So camera, the battery, and display.
And what about the processor, and what all RAM variants can we expect on the POCO C3?
Sure.
So from a processor perspective, I guess we're taking the most common platform that is there in this price segment. So we'll be using a Helio G35. So with the G series, you also get better gaming, overall output. And from a variations perspective, we will have a 464. We will have a 332, but we are choosing not to do a 2GB one right now. I think it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yes, I agree on that. That 2 GB RAM is something which now I don't think people would expect, even in budget segment. People are now looking at like say 3 GB RAM, so that is probably the base variant. So it's pretty good move that you guys skipped the 2 GB RAM and went directly with 3 GB of RAM option. That's pretty much what people expect, at least in this price segment.
True.
So that is there, but in this one you also have a 2+1 card slot. So basically you get dual SIM plus expandable storage. So either ways, 332 or 464, people should be getting decent performance with expandable options.
So the POCO C3 will have the MIUI for POCO, and it will again not feature any ads, unlike the Xiaomi's MIUI, right?
Yes, so that's why I said clean experience is super important, because suppose if I was buying this for a cousin and shipping it off, right, I am rest assured that I will not start getting calls saying why am I seeing this or why am I seeing this recommendation. So that makes a difference now.
So now coming to the availability part. Now one of the things I understand, like all the manufacturers, all the brands are now facing issue with production and all those things due to this current situation. So production is something which every brand has an issue. Now last few months, whenever I recommend a device to anyone, say YouTube or my friends, one of the complaints I get back instantly is that this device is not available. These are like out of stock everywhere, or these are flash sale, so they may not be able to buy it instantly. Now another thing, like one person asked is like whether POCO is planning to go offline, or rather he actually in fact asked me whether POCO X3 will come in the Mi Store. I said like POCO will not be there in Mi Store. So he said like he got a POCO X2 from a Mi Store. So I was like surprised, like I didn't know that POCO devices were available in Mi Store. I said it might be some issue or rather some misunderstanding there, but probably he said he got it from there. So talking about the other aspect now, whether POCO has any plans to go offline rather than just keeping with the Flipkart exclusive tag, whether you guys have any plans to go with offline, and also if going offline, whether there is any plan to go with the Mi Store, because you guys already have an understanding there. So whether there is plans to sell POCO devices in Mi Stores.
No, it shouldn't be there actually. So I mean, if you got a POCO F1 in 2018 or 19, sure, because POCO was part of Xiaomi and hence make perfect sense. This year, because we are a separate brand, as a single brand outlet, Mi Stores cannot have POCO devices legally. So that's there, unless he went to like a third party retailer who also had probably a Xiaomi board, but probably got some stocks from online, or bought it for somebody or something like that. So right now, no plans to move beyond Flipkart. Of course, Flipkart has been a strong partner. I have personally obviously worked with Flipkart for close to a decade now. so very, very confident in terms of their capabilities to scale up, their capabilities of providing when people need those devices, and the coverage that they have across the country. Again, like I said, right, we are a very small team. We are putting in some resources and getting R&D going. So for products like the X3 or maybe the next F, I don't really want to put separate resources to try and get a whole offline store going right now. The focus obviously is product, consumers, take as much feedback, keep improving, and give a better experience. Now, about the availability part of it, we are working hard. In fact, outside of the POCO X3, all the other devices that we had launched, we've already scaled up to a point where you can buy these anytime. Right? So the POCO X2, the POCO M2, the M2 Pro, all are available 24/7 on Flipkart. So that ideally should be some kind of a solve. In the initial weeks, it always takes time to build up the overall production, and that's why I guess sometimes there is obviously a stock shortage.
So finally, talking about the service aspect, so I guess POCO will still be going to use the Xiaomi service centers, right, throughout India. So right now POCO is serviced there. So going forward also Xiaomi's service centers will be used by POCO. Is that the going forward strategy for service?
So
currently,
again, yeah,
go
sorry,
ahead.
Manju, go ahead, sorry.
No worries. So essentially, yes, we are currently now utilizing all our all the Xiaomi service centers. There are more than 1,000 service centers where currently any customer, if they have any issue on our POCO devices, most likely they will not face these issues, but in case they do, they can essentially hop onto the closest Xiaomi service centers and get their device, corrected.
So, I mean, see, when you are building an after sales network, you have two options. One is you open it up to these third party vendors, and there are a lot of these aggregators. You go to that service center, you see 4-5 different brands, and you are one of them. Or the second option is you build your own, and that obviously requires a lot of resources. In this case, we decided, okay, we need to build up the service network rapidly so that wherever you are in the country, you can get it easily. No third party service provider will be able to provide it as widely. And second is because the Xiaomi guys have that, I mean, I think that's the biggest service network for phones. So as a service, they are providing a service to POCO, and of course we are happy to kind of capitalize on that part. But it is essentially a business agreement that we have with the service centers.
So that's it, guys. So we had a brief interaction about POCO strategy, MIUI, and even POCO F2. When is it coming? We don't have any idea, but still it is coming. That's what Anuj said. So a big thanks to Anuj and Manmohan for coming on this interaction on our channel. So we look forward for more devices from POCO, very interesting devices in the coming days, and probably we'll have some news on POCO F2 as well in the very near future. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this interaction. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.